The strength of a mother. In a small village, a young woman named Amina stood in the doorway of her modest home, cradling her newborn twins while her other two children sat quietly by her side. Her heart was heavy, not just with the burden of raising 4 children alone, but with the words that still echoed in her mind. "No one will congratulate you," her husband Musa had spat at her after she had given birth. "You are an abomination bearing 4 children, a curse, not a blessing." And with that he had walked out of their lives, leaving her alone with her 4 babies, without food, without support, without love. The struggles of a single mother. Amina wept that night, but the following morning she wiped her tears and faced her reality. She worked tirelessly, doing any job she could find, washing clothes for the wealthy, selling fruits in the market, and taking on sewing work at night when her children were asleep. She sacrificed everything, eating little so her children could eat, sleeping less so she could earn more. The villagers whispered about her, some pitying her, others mocking her for being abandoned, but she held her head high. Her love for her children was greater than any shame imposed upon her by society. Years passed, and despite all the difficulties, Amina ensured that her children went to school. Though they studied under candlelight and wore tattered uniforms, they never lacked love or encouragement from their mother. The rise of her sons. Time moved forward, and her sons grew into ambitious, hard-working young men. Through their determination and the sacrifices of their mother, they excelled in their studies. One of them became a successful businessman, another an engineer, the third a doctor, and the last one a lawyer. The day they became men of great wealth and status, they knelt before their mother, tears in their eyes, and said, "Mother, your struggles were not in vain. You are the reason we stand here today. Now it is our turn to give you the life you deserve." Amina could not hold back her tears. She had never imagined that the children she had once struggled to feed would one day build her a mansion, dress her in the finest garments, and introduce her to a life of abundance. A fallen father. Meanwhile, Musa, the man who had once abandoned his family, had fallen into the depths of despair. His arrogance had left him with no true friends, and his years of wandering without responsibility had reduced him to poverty. He begged on the streets, barely recognized by the villagers who once knew him. One fateful day he saw a grand car stop before a beautiful house. He watched as his 4 sons stepped out, dressed in elegance and wealth. And then he saw her, Amina, the woman he had scorned, walking with pride, her head held high, her life now a testimony of resilience and strength. Overcome with shame and regret, he fell to his knees, begging for forgiveness. But Amina only looked at him with sorrow, not hatred. "You left me when I needed you the most, but God never abandoned me. My children and I have risen from the ashes of suffering. You made your choice long ago. Now live with it." She walked away, leaving him to reflect on the consequences of his choices. A legacy of strength. Amina's story became an inspiration to many, proving that a mother's love and sacrifice could overcome even the darkest trials. She lived the rest of her life as a successful woman, honored and cherished, never again doubting the power of resilience and faith. And as for Musa, he remained a forgotten shadow of the past, a reminder that one's actions always return to them in time.